Hello and welcome to Stuff That's Probably Important to Understand with Karen. Okay, more things to understand about only adults' good practices in legal gender recognition for youth. This is an instruction manual on how to change legislation for trans rights for kids. So it was and adults is through it because self ID is all through this as well. So it was commissioned by these people, but they didn't have to pay anything because these guys did it for free. And Dentons is into diversity and inclusion stuff, but ultimately they're just the law firm that prepared this document. It is referred to commonly as the Dentons Documents. So if you Google it, you'll be able to find a copy easily that way. Now, sorry, we had a look at good practices in NGO advocacy. That stands for non-government organisation, in case you just knew. So we're going to have a look at good practices from international law on page 11. How to use this report to campaign. So they found that there weren't any laws, sorry, yet for trans youth. But the whole point of this is to create them. So, what laws are out there that we can use to create these laws? And we will use the UN Human Rights Council Committee on the Rights of the Child and the Committee on Economic and Social and Cultural Rights to find those. And then we're going to broadly interpret it to include sexual orientation, gender, identity, and have it as a protected category. And stuff on the UN's on Twitter today. I better go find that. So I really came here for number 6. Rights to development of the child. States must protect the physical, mental, moral, social, cultural, spiritual development of children. For example, states should take action against parents who are obstructing the free development of a young trans person's identity in refusing to give parental authorization when required. Yes. Yeah, I'm not going to go back on Twitter and look it up. So I go on Twitter a couple of times a week, or if there's something on the news I want to look up, I'm not that into it. But here we go. Parents watch education Glasgow. For people that are on Twitter, go look it up and read all about it. So mandatory notifiers that you then call the police and say, oh, these awful parents that don't want to trans their children, and that legislation's all just rolling out now, and it's all new days for them, but we follow them. So the stuff with the Greens, I don't know how it works, but we follow the same strategy. Well, other than that thing that I keep banging on about, that's their instruction manual, and you should read it, and you'll be able to see what's going on. And something else I like to do when I'm on Twitter is I check out the local turfs and see what horrid things have been written underneath their posts. And you mean yourself and your two mates. Oh, that's not too terrible. Amy, let's. Oh, National Conveyor of Queer Unionists, Trans Activists, oh, Artist and Teacher. Changing things. So Amy's a mandatory notifier, being a teacher. So that means if you are not transing your kids and you're in Meningie, which is what actually sparked my like, why is this person from Meningie trolling an old lady from Ballarat? Um, so there you go. If those laws pass, Amy will have a bit of say in whose parents are getting sent to the police. Okay, let's check out. Oh no, lucky National Tertiary Education Union. So she's not with the little kids. Someone will be. And we're following the same laws as the UK. Therein lies the biggest danger to kids, is that the socialists, trans is one of their causes, and I've probably over explained enough. That's why the trade unionists are into, kids having puberty blockers and stuff. It's the connection with the socialist movement. And in Australia, it's the Social Alliance Party, the people that organise all the protests. Not all of them, the ones where you see their signs.
And so I began by asking Charlie, can you please tell us why is it you think the right wing is attacking trans rights in this way, and what does it mean?
Yeah, I think that the current right wing attacks against trans people are one of the oldest tricks in the playbook of the right, which is to divide and conquer. Trans people are members of the working class. It's no surprise that actually a lot of the attacks are focused on rights in schools. Because trans people often, if they are in employment at all, are in employment which is in feminised labour, and that includes teachers and educators. It is a deliberate attack to say that we as working class people are separate from each other, we're different, we're people to be afraid of. And I think that's pretty clear in what has happened both in the US and in Australia. In Australia, we had, the debate around the Religious Freedoms Bill, and what that essentially was about was giving more power to the bosses to hire and fire, to not hire or to fire queer and trans workers. And that's very much the same thing that's happening in the US as well. We saw that in Florida there was the Don't Say Gay bill. Again, it was attacks on schools, and there have been a lot of attacks in general on queer educators in the US as well. So it's obvious why they're making those attacks. It's because they don't want workers' power. They don't want workers' power for trans people. They don't want workers' power for anyone. But how do you strip away workers' rights and don't frame it in that way? Well, you say that you're protecting children at school, so that's why we need more power for religious bosses. We're protecting against the groomers in the US. That's why we're going to have charter schools. It's all about taking power away from the hands of working class people, which trans people are overwhelmingly, and concentrating it in the power of bosses.
Charter schools in America, like basically little independent schools popping up that are free of the gender ideology stuff. They're private schools. And so, like, they've got an issue. How dare you not teach this stuff in your schools? Like, we just made up in the 90s. And if this gets into schools the way it's gotten in already, if this keeps going, it's going to happen here. So, what a good idea. Karen's charter schools. Yay. Oh, for what are we? The binary bitches and blokes of Bundanyabba. Yeah. So in Bundanyabba, we're going to start up a charter school free of trans and queer ideology, because transgender and queer are both ideologies. It's got that little extra tick, though, for being a political movement as well. Anyway, stop rambling. See you later. Bye. Oh, no. Forgot the end scene. See you later. Bye.